Toyota's marketing, it just knows no boundaries. It says it's on track to actually hit 500,000 electric vehicle deliveries in the United States this year. More like about 300. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. This is the new Lexus RV. Is it coming to the US this year? Nope. Is it coming to the US next year? Probably not. Is it going to be made in big numbers anywhere next year? No. Is it good? It's okay. Here's the specs. Here's the features. And I want to know, what do you think about the new Lexus RV? Fully electric car. It's actually a BZ4X, rebranded as a Lexus with some extra features and a few little differences. But other than that, pretty much the same car. Hopefully the wheels can stay on. Firstly, I need to disclose some information to you guys. This website, right? talknews.com. They actually publish some good stuff because they've published some of my videos on their site. In fact, a few times. Talk News, thanks guys. Appreciate your support. You do some really good stuff. This unfortunately just wasn't one of them. Misleading headlines like saying Toyota's going to deliver 500,000 electric cars in the US this year. They just trick people. They trick gullible people who just read this stuff and think it's actually true. Like the mythical Toyota Hybrid, which is a self-charging EV. It can just drive itself forever. That's the marketing from Toyota. Personally, I think the SEC should prosecute Toyota for these kinds of ridiculous claims. They've been mocked numerous times on electric vehicle forums where people actually have a brain and they can work out that Toyota's marketing claims are just false and nonsense. But the average person can't. The average person sees these ads and just thinks, oh wow, that's amazing. This vehicle can self-drive itself forever. Infinity. It's got, unlimited range, unlimited electric power. Yeah, obviously it's just complete pure marketing nonsense. Toyota will not sell 500,000 electric vehicles this year, but there's two new electric Lexus vehicles that we need to talk about. There is a brand new Lexus electric vehicle coming out in 2023, very, very soon, within a matter of months, say Toyota. And there's the Lexus UX300E, which has just been updated. So, launched in late 2019, the Lexus UX300E will forever be remembered as Lexus's first electric vehicle. Now benefits from improved structural rigidity because it wasn't rigid enough before, after adding 20 spot welding points around the side and back doors. Even more important though is the new battery. But hang on a minute. Whoa, hold up. Okay, so why did it need 20 extra spot welding points? This is not changing the battery to a structural battery pack. This is saying this car was a floppy noodle, right? You ever heard that expression before when people talk about convertibles, right? Drop tops, rag tops, a floppy noodle has the structural rigidity of a soft noodle. Well, maybe it didn't drive like that, right? But honestly, why on earth did they need to add 20 spot welds to a vehicle that was already in production? I thought this was the manufacturing powerhouse of the world. I thought Lexus were the epitome of prestige and, manufacturing perfection. I mean, at least that's what I've been told by the lovers of Toyota. That's my question to you guys out there. I know some of you that still love Toyota are still out there, and a couple of you still watch this channel, surprisingly. Please let me know in the comment section below, why were those 20 spot welds needed to a vehicle that was already in production? Yeah. Anyhow, the old 54.4 kilowatt hour battery pack was simply not cutting the mustard. No, it really wasn't. So they put in a different battery pack. It's a new 72.8 kilowatt hour pack that boosts range by over 40% versus the previous model. Lexus says the newer version will have 450 miles of range, which is 280 miles, which honestly, I'm kind of surprised by it. I mean, that's not much range for a car this size. Think about it, right? That's about the same range as BYD's Atto 3. Pretty much the same. In fact, WLTP's test cycle says the Atto 3 will do 440. The WLTP says this new model will do 450. So you get an extra 10 kilometers of range from a battery pack that is literally 10 kilowatt hours bigger. 10 kilowatt hour bigger battery pack, right? It's going to give you 10 kilometers more range. It doesn't add up. It's bizarre. Because this is a much smaller car than the Atto 3 in terms of its interior space. What? I mean, and, right, all the people who criticize lithium iron phosphate battery packs would say, oh yeah, LFP packs, I mean, you don't want one of those cars. It's going to give you a lot less range. Well, The Blade battery, LFP battery pack, is going to give you basically the same range. And it's, 16% smaller, and the car's bigger. Yeah. Would you really pay more money for this Lexus versus, I don't know, a Tesla or a GM? Honestly, you'd be better off just going and buying a Bolt EUV than this. That's what I think. Anyway, maybe I'm exaggerating. Let me know your thoughts. The original version, range in that model was 400 kilometers or 250 miles. So, here we got some claims that don't stack up either. That's not a 40% increase in range going from 400 kilometers to 450 kilometers. And they're basically saying the battery pack is like nearly 50% bigger and you're going to get 50 kilometers more range. Something's not adding up here. I don't know. I'm missing something. Clearly, we'll find out more information sooner, I'm sure. Now, there's some other changes, including Yamaha rear performance dampers as standard equipment and a retuned electric power steering wheel and shock absorbers that have been specifically tweaked for the electric model. So basically what this is actually a gasoline-powered vehicle or a plug-in hybrid-powered vehicle that they've just converted the vehicle to be an electric vehicle, which is, of course, why the range is less, it's compromised, and it's heavier than what it should be. The motors, they'll be the same. 201 horsepower, which is 150 kilowatt for those of you who use the metric scale, and torque is 300 newton meters or 221 pound-feet. The vehicle, it's 1,900 kilos, meaning it could actually be the heaviest vehicle in the world for its size. It could be. In fact, I haven't found a heavier one in the size category this is in. It is 4,495 millimeters long, 1,840 millimeters wide, and 1,520 millimeters high. Meaning the Tesla, just to give you guys some context here, because the vehicle you know about, the Tesla Model 3, is a much bigger car and it weighs, more than 200 kilos less. Just to give you some context. And it uses LFP batteries, which are meant to be heavier. Yeah, that also means that this car is only 100 kilos lighter than the Tesla Model Y in its LFP battery version configuration, which, should be a lot heavier, you would think. But anyway, much bigger car, only 100 kilos heavier. You can see the Model Y's engineering is just worlds ahead of this vehicle. But is the Model Y's engineering worlds ahead of Lexus's new electric car? That's a different story. The new Lexus RZ EV, which as far as I know hasn't yet announced for the United States market and will be coming to Australia in mid-2023, could come to the US, could come to Europe, don't really know yet, haven't seen all those details yet, but I'm going to guess Europe will be first, followed by the US and Australia, is actually Lexus's take on the BZ4X. But I've got to say it does look better than the BZ4X. It's more kind of coupe-shaped. So Lexus say this is a luxury EV, going to be priced at over 80,000 US dollars, and it will be based on Toyota's new, but now they say not very good. They've said that themselves, Toyota, by the way, eTNGA platform for electric vehicles. It's going to come standard with dual motor all-wheel drive, featuring what Lexus calls direct 4 torque vectoring. So what's good about direct 4 torque vectoring? Well, I'm not sure, but this is what they say. Using acceleration, quartering speed, and steering angle information, it automatically adjusts front to rear torque delivery and braking force to all 4 wheels to maximize grip, stability, and comfort. Full specs for the drivetrain, including power and torque outputs, as well as performance figures, are likely going to be the same as the BZ4X, which are approximately 450 kilometers of range, which is 280 miles, and it will also use the 71.4 kilowatt hour battery pack, which is in the car we just talked about, the UX300e, and is also in the BZ4X. And it's also in the twin in the skin, the Subaru Solterra. So there's actually going to be 3 EVs which are very similar to each other, using the same, basically, platform, the same, many of the same parts, most of the same parts, in fact, which are the Subaru Solterra, the BZ4X, and the Lexus RZ electric vehicle. Now, none of them will be mass manufactured, just for you guys, just so you know that. This is not going to be, it's more of a compliance vehicle. It's not going to be a mass manufactured vehicle. Toyota have admitted that it's an expensive vehicle for them to produce. In fact, they've actually said this at least 20 different times. They've said, this is an expensive vehicle for us to make, so it won't be cheap. So what are the rivals for this car? Well, you've got the Tesla Model Y, which is obviously got a fair bit more space on the inside than this car and a fair bit more range. You've got the Audi e-tron Sportback, the BMW iX3, the Jaguar I-Pace, which is not a car you should even remotely consider. It's way too expensive for what you get. The Genesis GB60, which is not bad. Mercedes-Benz EQC. And then, you could also look at, say, the Hyundai Ioniq 5, which is a much better car than this. And highly, even if you're a Lexus brand fan, you'd be much better off getting Ioniq 5, a Kia EV6, or a Tesla Model Y. Lexus says that almost half of its sales, 47.3%, have been electrified to the end of September, meaning nearly 1 in 2 Lexus sales are either hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or EV. They wouldn't disclose what percentage of those were actually fully electric. Full pricing and specs for this vehicle are going to be revealed closer to its launch in the middle of 2023, and I hope it does well for Lexus. I think it does look better than the BZ4X, and hey, this is another option, so I shouldn't be too critical of Toyota and Lexus. Hopefully they can make lots of this car, people love it, and they stop buying Lexus gas-powered vehicles and they buy these instead. Or they could just buy something better from another manufacturer. That's another choice as well. Let me know what you would do if this vehicle was on the market and it was, say, a similar price to the Tesla Model Y long range. Which would you get? The Tesla Model Y long range or this? Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.